What's going on? It is Monday, and today we are answering the question, is it okay for Christians to eat halal meat? And my quick answer is yes, almost always. So what is halal meat? Nick Early from the BBC writes, halal is Arabic for permissible. Halal meat is that which adheres to Islamic law as defined by the Quran. So the meat is prayed for during the killing of the animal. Are you free to eat the meat? Yes, you are free to eat the meat. In 1 Corinthians 8, we are reminded that we believe in one God. And Paul says it like this, food does not bring us near to God. We are no worse if we do not eat and no better if we do. So because we believe that there is only one God, we are free to eat the meat. But here is probably the question on everybody's heart. Does eating the food that was used for religious purposes mean that I am actively participating in that religion? And Paul's answer would be no. Paul didn't have a problem with them eating the meat. He didn't see them simply eating the meat as them all of a sudden worshipping those idols. Likewise, halal meat is made so Islamic people can honor their belief in God while still eating meat. But the eating of the meat is not the act of worship itself, and there's not an implicit confession of Islamic faith in the eating of meat. So are you free to eat the meat? Yes, but you don't have to be self-righteous about it. Just because you have the biblically correct view on this issue, that doesn't mean you have to rub it in everyone's face. Some people still are bothered by the idea of eating food that has religious attachments to it. So when is it not okay to be eating this kind of meat? One, when you are influencing someone to what the Bible would call sin against their conscience. So two Christians walk into a bar. Imagine you and your Christian friend walk into a restaurant. You get to the restaurant and realize the whole restaurant is completely halal. You're totally fine with it, but your friend, not so much. This might not be the teaching moment you've been looking for. This might actually be the moment where you lay down your freedom and you don't eat the meat, or you guys find somewhere else to eat. And this is especially true if they're sort of on the fence about it, and if by you ordering the food, they would just kind of order the food even though they don't completely think it's right. Here's another scenario in which you wouldn't eat the meat. When you don't think it's right. This is easy. If you don't think it's right, it's wrong for you. Completely believe that you have your reasons for not eating the meat, but there needs to be some flex room for you to realize that other people are not seeing the issue the same way you are. Another scenario where you wouldn't want to eat the meat is if by participating and by eating the food, that is the act of worship to another god. So 2 chapters later in 1 Corinthians 10, Paul condemns the eating food sacrificed to idols, and he does it by contrasting it to communion. Because in communion, the consumption, the participation in the act of eating bread and wine or grape juice, that is an action of worship. And so believers are not to engage in the worship of other gods. And if I missed anything, let me know in the comments below while I hide away as my Islamic friends probably laugh at the fact that I made a video like this. See you next Monday, and thank you again for watching. Second thing that you might not know about Jesus is that his first miracle was making the best wine for a bunch of drunk people. Okay, I'm not making this up. Look it up, John 2. And regardless of your stance on alcohol, I think you at least have to admit that Jesus was not the sort of levitating